Hi, I'm Mona, and welcome to Nature Time. I was at Constitution Marsh in Phillipstown this week, and I saw hundreds of fish. So I wanted to learn more what they were and what they were doing. So I'm here today with Scott Silver, who's the director of Constitution Marsh Audubon Center. So Scott, what's happening in the marsh?
So when you see all those fish splashing around on the surface of the water at Constitution Marsh and the coves right next to it, those are actually carp. They're the common carp, and they're not a native fish. They're what we refer to as an invasive species. Um, they came out of Europe and Asia. But they're still fish, and they're still very interesting.
So Scott, you said carp are an invasive fish. Can you tell us about what some of the problems or challenges are when we have invasive fish in our waters?
Sure. Well, a lot of the concerns presented by the carp are the same concerns that we have for other species of invasives, whether it's invasive plants that come into the rivers or invasive plants that come onto land or invasive animals as well. That they outcompete a lot of the native species that are found there, and the same thing is true with the fish. A lot of the native fish are being pushed out or no longer found in areas where you find a lot of these carp. And the carp have spread throughout most of the river systems and a lot of the lakes in the Northeast and New York State in particular. So it's a concern.
And why, Scott, do we think they're flip-flopping around and making such big splashes right now?
There's a couple of different theories on that. A lot of it has to do with the conditions that they find themselves in. A lot of the time, that water is kind of shallow, and fish are concerned with a couple of different things. They're concerned with temperature, and they're concerned a lot of time with the dissolved oxygen in the water, and that changes at different levels of the water, whether you're on the surface or whether you're down below. And a lot of these carp are probably looking for optimum dissolved oxygen content or temperatures. So they spend a lot of time by the surface, and they do a lot of flopping around and jumping out of the water.
And are the carp here all year long, or have they come from somewhere and do they go away again?
I believe, I confess I'm not a carp expert, but I believe they're here all year long. Certainly the eagles and the herons and the other wading birds make use of them. I've seen the eagles feeding carp to their youngsters at Constitution Marsh on several different occasions.
And what about us? Can we eat them too? Are there people out there?
There are people who eat carp. That seems to be a regional preference. But in certain parts of the world, people are very, very enthusiastic about eating carp. Not so much in the Northeast United States. People don't really spend a lot of time eating them. Though there are people who fish for them, and I've seen people who actually bow fish for them. They fish for them with a bow and arrow.
Very cool. Well, thanks, Scott, for stopping in for Nature Time.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks.